Right, open the presentation application. Create a new document from a template of your choice.
So File, New, from a sample template, and then it's easiest just to choose the first one and click Create. And then you have to save your document in your Learner Drive as template presentation. So File, Save As. So save it as template presentation. We're just saving it to the desktop, but you need to save it to your Learner Drive. So save it exactly as they've written in there, and then you need it as a .pptx. So that is a, just put the extension in there, that'll be fine. I'll save it as that. And continue. Continue to work. Point 2, continue to work on the file template presentation. Minimise the ribbon. To minimise the ribbon, you need to look on the top right hand corner where you see this arrow here, and you click to minimise the ribbon. To reveal the ribbon again, you just click that button again and the ribbon appears. Now you have to switch to Slide Sorter View. If you click on View at the top tab here, and then go to Slide Sorter, that will change your view. Point 4, change the background colour slide of Slide 2 only to a colour of your choice. So select Slide 2, Design, extend background so you make it bigger, change the colour to a colour of your choice, and then click Close. You don't want to click Apply to All, otherwise that would change it to all of the slides. So you just want to change the colour for your one and then click Close. You've then been asked, point 5, to delete Slide 3, so select Slide 3, and you can either press the delete button on your computer, it's probably the easiest way to do it, to remove that slide. You've then been asked to copy Slide 1 and place it at the end of the presentation. So if you select Slide 1, we go to Home, Copy, and then it says at the end of the presentation, so click at the end of the presentation. Here you'll see the cursor come up here big, and then you want to go Paste. Okay, don't use the Control-C, Control-V actions, do it from the tabs above. And then you need to save and then close this application. Okay, question 7, open the presentation application, and then it says open the file answered called answerfile.pptx. So file, open, and then browse for your file. Yours will be in the Learner Drive. So there's your file, answer file. So open that, and it says when creating text content for a slide presentation, which one of the following should be used? So this is a question, and you will have to put your answer in the box. So here I would, after you've chosen your answer, it says enter A, B, C, or D in the answerfile.pptx in the click to add text placeholder. So these boxes here are called placeholders. So I will click in there and I will put my answer as C. It is best to use only short, concise phrases in a PowerPoint presentation. And then I will save and close the presentation keeping the same file name. So file, save, file, exit to close the document. Point 8, open the file called Apple Varieties. So again, I open the presentation, I do File, Open, and I choose from my work files the Apple Varieties presentation. It says save this presentation in outline/rich text format as apples to your Learner Drive. So if you go File, Save As, it will give you a variety of options here under Save As Type. So if you select this, go down, you can save it. It's asked you to save it as Outline RTF. So just go down until you see that option, which is here. Click that, and it's asked you to change the file name to Apples. So here, if you change the file name to Apples and save that to your learner drive. It's then ask you to save and close your presentation keeping the same file name, Apple Varieties. So we need to save and exit this presentation as well, and that takes us to the end of point 8. Point 9. Open a PowerPoint presentation. Open the file called Apple Pips. File, open, select the folder that you want. This one we've asked for Apple Pips, and open. Save this file to your learner drive using the new file name Apple Marketing. So make sure you spell it correctly. So File, Save As, in the place where you want it, and you change it to Apple Marketing, and it wants a .pptx file name. And continue. So apply the theme template pom.potx from your learner drive to all slides in the presentation. So we need to open another folder now, which is it's pom.potx. And to copy the theme from this presentation to our next one, we can use the copy formatting tool. So once you select the slide, you can go to the format painter. This will copy the format from one slide to another. So if we click the format painter and then open up our new presentation, we've been asked to apply the theme template from your learner drive, from the pom.potx to the Apple Marketing presentation. So we can select all of our slides because we need to apply it to all of them. So we need to scroll down, hold down the Shift key and click on the bottom one, and that will select all of our files, and you can see that the theme from the pom.potx has been pasted onto our Apple Marketing presentation with the apple and the line throughout. Part 10 says continue using the new file applemarketing.pptx. Zoom this presentation in normal view to 65%. So if you use the scroller bar down here, you need to make sure that you get it to exactly 65%. Okay, or you can just click on the number down here and you can type in the percentage that you want in the box and press OK if you're having difficulty moving it to exactly 65. So number 11, we select the slide that we want, titled Apples of Our Aisles. Under Home, you will see there's an option that says Slides, which will be everything you need to do with the slides themselves. So if you click Layout, and it's asked you to apply a title slide layout. So if you click Title Slide, that will change the layout of the slide. Part 12, add the following text as a subtitle. Make sure you spell it very carefully. So it's asked you to add, where it said click a subtitle, it's asked you to write the following: Apple Marketing Board. Make sure that you keep capital letters and write it exactly as they put it. It says change the case of the text you have written in the task above to uppercase. That doesn't mean that you should delete it and rewrite it. What it wants you to do is use the proper function. So if you highlight that and go to font. Now everything you can see on font is here, but there are some extra options, and to make those extra options visible you have to click this bottom right hand arrow on the box. And when you do that, you should be able to then change it to all capitals. Okay, you've got other things like superscript, subscript here, but we want to change it to all capitals, so we click that and then press OK, and that changes the text of our writing to upper text. It then says that we need to right align that text, so we need to make sure that it's all highlighted. And under Home, Paragraph, we get all the alignment features here, so left, centre or right. So we need to align text right. If you hover over it, it'll give you the box to make you realise that you're going to press the right one. So we align that text right. Step 14, go to slide 3, so select slide 3, delete the text and bullet point for Darcy Spice, so you just need to select the text and press delete. Undo your previous task. Now the undo functions and the redo functions are at the top of the page, so if you follow the arrow up to the top left, you can see that this is the undo typing, so if we undo that, it should bring back our Darcy Spice text. Point 16, remove indent from the bulleted text on slide 3. Okay, so this is to do with how the paragraph's formatted. So if we highlight this and go to paragraph, extend it to make it bigger, and then we can change this to 0 and put none on there in this indentation box. That will delete the indentation. So continue on slide 3, adjust the line spacing to 6 points after for all bullet pointed lists. So again, we've already got our list highlighted, so we can go to paragraph, extend it to get more options, and the line spacing after we need to change to 6, and then we need to press OK. Continue on slide 3, we need to change the bullet list to a numbered list. So select it all here, and then on here, where it's selected as a bullet point list, we need to change this to a number. So rather than, if you wanted to change a bullet point to a square or something, you could choose one of these options, but we've asked for it as a number, so you need to click on the one next to it and change it to a numbered list. Task 19. We've been asked to insert an image into the bottom left-hand corner of every slide except the title slide. So rather than copying and pasting the image on every single slide in our document, we can use something called the master slide. Now you can imagine if your PowerPoint presentation was several hundred slides long, it would be very laborious to go through each slide and enter an image that you wanted on each one. So instead we go to View, Slide Master, and here it separates our presentation into the different types of slide according to their layout. So for example, if I hover over this one, it tells me it's the title slide layout used by slide 1. Just below you've got the title and content layout used by slides 3 to 7 and 10 to 11, and etc. as you go down the page. Now we want to put an image on every single slide except the title slide. So we don't want to put the image here, but we can put it on every other type of document. And some of them aren't used at all. So at the moment you've got section header layout, and at the moment that's not used by any slides. If we go to insert our picture, we go insert picture, and we select the red apple and press insert. Now we don't want it in the centre, we want it bottom left. So up here on the top right you go to align, and we want align bottom and align left to get the picture in the bottom left hand corner. So if we then copy this picture by pressing right click, copy, we can then paste it into our next type of slide. Now there's two options here. If we paste it using this one, it will show us, it will put it in the middle. We don't want that. Instead, if you press use destination theme, that will mean it will paste it in exactly the same place where it copied it from. This is the best option here. So again, on each type of slide that you're going to use, you would right click and paste the destination theme. Now, although it seems like a long task here, if you had a very long presentation, it would mean that each slide you make would always have the red apple image on it, and it'd save having to copy and paste it onto every single slide in your presentation. Okay, so if you can see here on the left hand side, we've got the red apple image on every single type of slide except from the title slide layout at the top here, which means if we go back into our presentation, it should be on each slide except our title slide. So we can close Master View, and if you look back at our presentation, you'll see it's not here on the title slide, but if we scroll down, the apple is on every other type of slide. Then we need to find slide 2, titled Apple Marketing Board. Find the shape John Brown, titled Finance Manager in the organisation chart. Add a shape below this shape with the name Carl Kent and the title Assistant Accountant. Accept the default settings, and then we need to save our presentation. So find John Brown, titled Finance Manager, and we need to add a shape below this shape with the name Carl Kent and the title Assistant Accountant. Now, if we were just to press return straight away at the end of this one, it would give us another name, but it wouldn't be underneath John Brown, it will be next to him. So if we put Carl Kent in here, we could add another name which was in the same ranking as Hannah, Ella and John, and that's not what we want to do. We want Carl to be underneath John Brown in the hierarchy. So what we need to do is, before the name for Carl, we need to press the tab key on your keyboard, and if you press the tab key, that will then move Carl along on the organisation chart, and it will also mean that the box is positioned below John Brown where it's supposed to be. So then you can continue typing Carl Kent. At this point you could just type it out Assistant Accountant, or to keep it the same with them, to get each word underneath it you need to do a soft line break. So press Shift and return, and that will keep you within the same box. So Assistant, and another soft line break, Shift and return, Manager. Okay, and then you can close that down. So we've got our next hierarchy with a name underneath, and then we press Save. We'll do the file Save just to keep it consistent, and then Continue. So continue using slide 2. Add the following text as a note for the presenter. Any notes that you add to a PowerPoint presentation go at the bottom here where it says click to add notes. So we just click inside here and add the note Carl Kent, newly appointed, be careful with your spelling and copying, to the finance team. Okay. Then we need to, number 22, find slide 3 titled Apple Varieties. We need to increase the font size for Apple Varieties to 44. So we just highlight the words Apple Variety, and then up here under font you can change the font size to 44. We then are on point 23, which is align the bulleted text to the left. So here where we've got the bulleted text, we can highlight it all, and using the paragraph and the aligning functions we align left. Find slide 4 titled Green Apples. Apply a shadow effect to the text Granny Smith. So we highlight the words Granny Smith, and we need to apply a shadow which you'll find under font, so you can see it's obviously the shadow and we can add it there. Find number 25, find the green and grey apple image. Resize the image to 11 centimeters high and 8.68 centimeters wide. So if we click on the image, you can see that a new tab has opened up. If we weren't clicked on there, it would be a drawing tab. Here it will turn into the picture tab. So if we press format, and then on the right hand side here you can change the height. So if you just put the cursor in there, delete the height and write 11, and change the cursor in here and write 8.68 and press return, that will change the size of your apple. Then we need to save the presentation again, so file, save. Number 26, align the image so that it is in the center of the slide. So if we click on the image again, we need to go to format, because we're talking about image, not text now, and on the right hand side you need to look for align. So format, align, and we've been asked to align it in the center, so we click align center. Point number 27, find the slide 6 titled using green apples. Enter the following bullet pointed text. So where it says click to enter text, we start the bullet points. So we've got jams and jellies, got classic pies and crumbles, and then we've got sauce for meats, hyphen, goose and pork. Okay, now number 28, bring the pie object to the front of the jam and sauces object. So here we call these objects, we've got the jam, the pie and the sauce. You can see at the moment the pie is at the back, it wants you to bring that to the front. So if you click on that image at the front, go to format, and then over here where it says arrange, it will let you change which order they're in. So if you use the drop down arrow, you could either bring it forward a number of times so that it's at the front, or you can use the drop down arrow here and click bring to front, and the pie should now be to the front of the jam and sauces. It strictly says do not move or resize the objects. Then asks you to group the objects pie, jam and sauces. So if you select one, hold down the shift, select the next one, hold down the shift still, select the next one, you will have all three objects selected. So again, under this drawing tools format, you need to group the objects. So if you click on the group and click group, that will group them all together. We need to animate this slide, number 30, with your own choice of animation so that the objects appear in this order. So number 1, title, number 2, the bullet point text, and number 3, the jam 6 grouping. So for this one we need to go to the animations. Don't spend a lot of time in choosing an animation, just do the first one that's there. So select green apples and just click appear. Select the text box and click appear, and finally select the object and click appear. So that's, you can see the numbers are right because it's in the right order for the animation. 31, find slide 7 titled when buying apples. Change the font colour for the bullet point text to a colour of your choice. So highlight the bullet point text and change it to a colour of your choice. So to do that, you just go to home, under font. It's easiest just to click that colour. Don't bother spending a lot of time changing another colour. You'll notice here that there's an obvious spelling mistake, but just leave that for now. That will probably mean that they want you to do something with that later. Number 32, flip the green arrow vertically. So to do that, you could spin it around using this tool, but actually if you go into format, rotate, Then under here you've got the one that says flip vertical. So if you flip vertical, that will mean you're exactly right and you'll get the mark. So do it this way rather than trying to do it manually. Okay, to add a pie chart to your slide number 33, you need to click Insert Chart, click on the pie chart down here, or you can find it by looking at pie here, clicking the pie chart, pressing OK. You'll be giving an empty grid that you need to fill in the right words from your chart. So you've got pies, jams, sauces and juices down here, and then at the top you've got apple production, and your numbers are 75, 30, 32 and 145. Once you've done that, make sure that you click or press down on the down arrow or click outside that so that it updates your pie chart on the side there, so you can see that it's done its final change. Then you can maximise your PowerPoint presentation again by pressing the maximise button up here to make it full screen again. Number 34 says find slide 9 and titled Current Production Statistics, add value data levels to the column chart. What you've got to be careful to do with here is to make sure you click on the box going around, so this thin grey box going around the chart, rather than individual columns, otherwise you'll only add the data labels for individual columns. So if you click on the box around, go to, as soon as you click on the chart, you get the chart tools up here. Go to Layout, Data Labels, and then press Show. That should then give you the data labels appearing on top of your chart. 35. Add a text box directly below the column chart with the following text. So if we click below the chart and we go Insert, Text Box, we can then draw our text box directly below the chart, and we need to write inside there, most apples make juice. Okay, then you can just click outside the text box and save your presentation. Okay, number 36, find slide 11 titled Apple Nutrition. Change the line spacing for all bullet points to 12 points before. So highlight the text. You're going to have to do something with the paragraph. So if you look under Home, you'll find Paragraph, and it wants you to do something with the line spacing. So if you make paragraph bigger, you get this extra box, and you can change the line spacing. So it wants before, it wants 12 bullet points. So we press OK. Number 37, insert a new slide immediately after slide 11 titled Apple Nutrition. Choose a slide layout which allows a title only to be added. So here we need to insert a new slide. So if we select on the down arrow from here, it will give us the options as to what slides we can have, and it's asked us for a slide which allows a title only. So conveniently it's called title only over here, so if we click on that, that will give us a title only slide. It says add the text questions and answers, so we've only got one place we can type it, so here questions, and I'll use the and symbol like they've done, Shift 7 and answers. Number 38, change the order of the slides. Move slide 5, titled Finally, so it becomes the last slide in the presentation. So we'll scroll up here to slide 5. We can select that slide, and then we can literally just drag it down here until we're right at the end, and we can lift off the mouse and it will be positioned at the end of the presentation. Then we need to save our presentation, so File, Save. 39. Apply a slide transition effect of your choice to all the slides in the presentation. So if you go to select all the slides, so select the first one, hold down Shift, scroll down, select the last one, that selects all the slides. If we go to transitions, and I would just do one of the ones that's at the top really easily, so let's do a push, and that will apply it to all of our slides. And click out again. Number 40, enter your own name into the footer for all the slides in the presentation. Use the most suitable tool to complete this task. Save your presentation. So if we need to put our name into the footer, we can go Insert, Header and Footer, and in the footer we want our own name, so we can actually write it in here. So the slide footer, so you write your own name and then apply to all. Okay, so then your own name will appear in the footer of every single slide as you go down. Then we need to save our presentation, so File, Save. Number 41, open the file called appletrees.pptx from your Learner Drive. So File, Open, Work Files, and then you want to open the file appletrees.pptx. Find the slide 2 titled Apple Trees. Copy the apple image from the slide to the bottom right corner of slide 6 when buying apples in the file applemarketing.pptx. So what they want us to do is they want us to copy the image from here and put it into our other presentation. So if you select the image and over here under Home again go Copy, minimize this one using the minimization tool in the top right hand corner, then select where you want to paste it, so it says in slide 6 in the bottom right hand corner. So if we click here and click Home, Paste, our apple should appear, and we can move it slightly to get it in the bottom right hand corner. Then we need to save both presentations. So we need to save this one, File, Save, and for our Apple Trees one it's asked us to save it and close it. So we can File, Save, and then we can close that presentation. In the top right hand corner you have a help function here, so if you click on that, double click on that, you can then type in what you need. So it asks you to find out how to hide a slide, and then that will give you some options there. We can click on here and it will tell us how to hide a slide. Okay, to hide a slide, right click the slide that you want to hide, then click Hide Slide. So we can close our help function, now we know how to do it. We can go back to our slide 4, right click, and at the bottom here you'll find Hide Slide, and as it says, it shows that that one's actually hidden, so that wouldn't show up in the presentation. Find slide 9 titled Cooking with Apples and delete the slide. So go to slide 9, Cooking with Apples, and press the delete button on your keyboard, and that will delete the slide. Number 45, add a title and chart slide to the end of the presentation. So scroll to the end of the presentation using the scroll bar, click at the bottom, it says add a title and chart slide to the end. So we need to do a new slide. Okay, again the drop down arrow here, and it wants a title and chart slide. So at the bottom here it says title and chart, so we click on that one. Enter the text table of forecast figures. So we can go to Insert, Table, and we want 2 columns and 4 rows. So we just move down till we want 2 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, and then we click, and that will give us our box there. And then we can just enter the details that we want in that box. So we want year, forecast figures, and then the pound sign. Don't worry about changing the colour of the text, just write it as it appears as it goes in. If you need to insert a row below because you've made a mistake, you click Insert Below. Okay, centre align the text in the table, so we need to highlight all of the text in the table and centre align. Number 48, insert a new column between the existing columns after year and before forecast figures. So you can either go to year, highlight that and insert one right, or highlight the forecast figures and insert one left. So let's highlight year, and on the tables tool which comes out, you've got design or layout. We want layout and we want insert right, and that'll insert a column to the right hand side, and we want to label this column update. Number 49, adjust the column width of the first column to fit the text. So to do this, we can just, these are our symbols on the arrowhead that we want to show us that we can move the lines in the table, the one with 2 lines in the middle, 2 arrows either side. So to adjust that column width so that it fits the text, all you do is double click and the column width will be automatically adjusted to fit text for that column. Number 50, draw a circle shape in the colour of your choice in the bottom right of the side. So here we can just click out of the table, we need to insert a shape. So insert, shape, and it wants us to use a circle. Okay, then we want that as a colour of our choice. So we can either keep it like that or go to home, format, because it's a drawing tool now, format, and then shape fill, and change it to a colour of our choice. You need to format the shape so that it has a black border with a 6-point line weight. So again, on the formatting shape, we want shape outline, and we want the border to be black, which it is, and the weight needs to be changed to 6 pt. Draw a square shape, number 52, draw a square shape next to your circle. Insert shapes, square. And group these 2 objects. So again, you do shift to select both of them at the same time, and then format, and over here you've got the group function which will group both objects together. We need to save this file again, file, save. Continue using Apple Marketing, add a new to content slide. So at the bottom here, we put the cursor at the bottom, we want a new slide again, use the down arrow, and we want a to content slide. In the left chart box, create a marked line graph of the following data. So you've got the data in the box there. So if we go to chart, we want a line graph. So insert chart, select line, and we want, this is a marked line graph, or a line with markers. Here, and press OK. This will open up again an Excel document, and we just need to type our text in here. So we have got Apple type, Okay, once you've entered your text, again, you need to just make sure that you click outside of the box, or make sure your cursor's outside the box, and as you can see, your chart has been formed on the other page. We need to add a chart title to the chart and enter the text apples. So maximize this again, click on the chart and go to Layout, Chart Title, and we want one above the chart, and we need to enter apples. Number 56. Change the background colour of the line graph to a colour of your choice. So if you select the grey box outside again, go to Format, and then Shape Fill, you can change it to the colour of your choice. Number 57. Change the colours of the lines of the line graph to the colours of your choice. So select the line of the line graph. Then you can go to Shape Outline and then change that to colour of your choice. Number 58, continue on slide 13. In the right hand chart box, create an organisation chart for the following hierarchical system. So in this case you want a smart graphic. Okay, so to create a hierarchical system you need a smart graphic. On the left hand side here you want the hierarchy, because it asks you to build a hierarchical system, and then just select the first chart, organisation chart that's given to you, and press OK. So in here you need level 1, you need Julian Fellows, and he's a director. And then you've got 2 people on level 2, so you don't need this one, so you can delete this one, and you only need 2 people on level 2. So you can just add Mark Scott, he's a lighting manager, and then finally John Brown, he's a costume manager. Okay, John Brown employs a personal assistant, Caroline Black, who is below him in the hierarchy. Add Caroline Black, personal assistant, to the organisation chart. So here, if you select this tab on the left hand side of your organisational chart, it allows you to add people to it. So select here and you'll have your system. So we need someone below John Brown because he's employed it, but we don't want them in the same level, so again we've got to press the tab button on your keyboard will bring someone below, and his name is her name is Caroline Black. So we click on here and we type in Caroline Black, and she is a personal assistant. Okay, Mark Scott, the lighting manager, is fired for lack of effort. Delete him from the organisation chart, so we can click on Mark Scott. Okay, make sure the box around is selected and then press delete on your keyboard to remove him from the chart. Then we need to go to slide 8. Change the chart type to a 3D bar chart. So in this case it's already come up as 3D in this version of Excel. But if we were to change the chart type, we could go to Design. So again, these chart tools at the top, then change chart type here. If we wanted it 2D, we could select the 2D one and press OK. If we wanted it back to 3D, Design, chart type, and we can select the 3D option and press OK. Number 62, check the presentation for spelling mistakes using the most suitable tool from the application and make corrections when needed. Ignore proper names. So if we click off the chart type here, we go to Review, because we're reviewing the spelling in the document, go to Spelling, and down here We can ignore proper names, it says, so anyone's surname or first name or a place name we can ignore, so we can click ignore to blogs. This one is definitely wrong, so rather than fruit it should be fruit, so we select fruit and click change. Blogs we can ignore all blogs. Free is changed, it should be free instead, so they've selected the right one, so let's press change, and then the spelling check is complete. Start a slideshow from slide 3. So if you're starting from slide 3, you can select slideshow, and then from current slide. So you can either select it to start the slideshow from the beginning, but we want it to start from slide 3, and the slideshow will start from slide 3. Navigate through the slideshow until you reach the end, so that's just using the arrows on your keyboard, so the down arrow will make it go into the next one, and you need to navigate through right to the end. Okay, number 64, change the slide orientation to portrait. Under design, you select slide orientation and then change that to portrait. Number 65, choose the overhead output format for the presentation. So here we need to go into page setup, which is found actually under design. So go to page setup, and we want to choose it for overhead output. So if you select the sides here, if you go to overhead and then OK. Number 66, set the username for the presentation. If you go to File, Options, and change the username, it's asked you to put Joe Blogs. So you do that and then you press OK. Last point, number 67, print the Apple marketing presentation as a handout. So you go to File, Print. It wants you to print 6 slides to a page horizontally or vertically. Full page size, it wants you to print a handout, and it wants 6 slides to a page. So go down to find 6 slides, horizontally or vertically it says, and then you would press the print button to print those. Okay, and then you need to save and close your presentation. Save. And then you can close all files and the presentation application.